and welcome back to Adventures in Millerland. And today we're going to be talking about how we budget for travel, for Disney, all the fun things we love doing as a family. Before we get started, we just wanted to say thanks for being here. And thanks for commenting and interacting with us and everything that we share in our videos. And all here on YouTube, but also over on Instagram. We just super appreciate you guys. And every time you guys ask questions or leave comments, we love responding and we love connecting with you and getting to know you guys better.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So like we said, we're gonna talk about budgeting, especially for travel. And one of the things we love traveling to is doing Disney vacations. There are a lot of other vacations we also have done and enjoy doing too. But before we talk about how we budget right now, we're gonna rewind on our lives a little bit and go back to when we were one income family.
We learned a lot as we wanted to prioritize vacations and travel when our kids were little. At the same time, we went through a budgeting kind of plan or learning
Seminar. Workshop. Yeah. It sounds boring, but it was actually really good.
It was really interesting and really helpful by Dave Ramsey. Mm-hmm. And so through that, we learned a lot about budgeting. Basically, what it really did was it really helped us figure out our priorities, how to set a budget, how to save for it, how to not go into debt. And some of the things we learned from that were like, we really had to eat at home more. We had to find ways to do things that were less expensive.
Yeah.
And so going on a trip like to Disney, we figured out how we had to pack our own snacks, and even for the car, snacks, drinks, we always would pack them. Going into the parks, we would bring our own lunches, bring our own snacks. We would have breakfast in our refrigerator in our hotel. Sometimes when our kids were really little, we actually had some people we knew down there that we stayed with.
Yeah.
We were able to really prioritize the way that we do things in our life. Like, I don't get my nails done. I dye my own hair. All those things that we did back then because we were trying to save money. We still do now. Yeah. Or at least I do those things.
Well, I remember our first trip to Disney when we were married. I think it was before we had the girls. We stayed in like Buena Park area, which is right near Knott's Berry Farm and Medieval Times, I think. Yeah. And we're really close to that area, but that was a good like 15-minute drive to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And so that's something we probably wouldn't do these days. We probably stay either at one of the Disney hotels or right across the street on Harbor Boulevard.
Yeah, we're actually going in 2 weeks and we're staying at the Disneyland Hotel for the first time.
So there's gonna be a lot more Disneyland content coming your guys' way very soon.
Yes, but even with Dave Ramsey, he talks about that. He talks about, if you want to increase your budget, you have to increase your income. And we'll talk about it later, but we do have 2 incomes now. So we can do the Disneyland Hotel, but we still have to think about our priorities when we travel. Yeah. Because you can spend a lot. Yeah. And so when you have less of a budget, you have to figure out ways that you can save.
I'm going to give you guys a few examples of how we saved money in the past. Again, when we were a single income family, when we went to Vegas one time, I think we had we looked at our budget. We had like $600. Yeah. And we're going to be there for a week. Yeah. Like, how do we spend $600 in Vegas for a week and not have to pack up and go home on day 3? But we did it. I couldn't believe it. But we looked through Groupons. I think there was a restaurant.com gift card that I had, which you can buy discounts at restaurants. And so those are the restaurants we ate at. Yeah. And it was super fun.
Yeah, it was kind of like an adventure of just finding like a scavenger hunt.
How much can we do with this much money in Vegas or on wherever we ended up going?
And I remember we went to one restaurant that we found on restaurants.com that we probably would have never gone to otherwise. It was this weird hole in the wall. It was kind of decorated like this mobster place.
Oh, yeah. It was like a speakeasy. Yeah. Yeah. It was like Capone's or something like that. It was a steakhouse. But you legitimately felt like you were in Goodfellas, the movie. Yeah. In fact, they had Goodfellas playing on the TVs when you're eating dinner. If you've seen Goodfellas, maybe not the best content for that. But regardless, there was a cool guy playing on the piano. Yeah. It was fun, but we would have never thought to find it if we didn't use that. So it was kind of fun discovering new things like that.
Yeah. So, you can have a ton of fun figuring out how to use less money and make it work for different kinds of vacations. Yeah. And I feel like we've done that pretty well at Disneyland. Yep. When we had a really tight budget and we took the girls when they were little, we did bring in most of our food, but we were trying to find places to eat for dinner that were more affordable. And so I found something on Pinterest that led to a bunch of restaurants that are really affordable, but have really good food. Do you remember what some of them were?
Yeah. And really, I can't think of Keaton on what's affordable, Disney affordable in Disneyland, but also what when you bought a meal, what kind of portion size was it? One of our favorites is Alien Pizza Planet in Tomorrowland in Disneyland Park. And then I think there's a few others that from our experience were like that. Rancho del Zocalo has good portions and good prices. And also Paradise Garden Grill in California Adventure. That's like right on the edge of like Pixar Pier. And they have a lot of different options, but they have pretty good portion sizes. It's really fun atmosphere just to kind of like relax and take a break from the park. Those and maybe others are really good options. You can get a corn dog for pretty cheap and they're extremely good. There's a lot of good options at Disney for good prices.
Yeah, but having snacks with you, I feel like is so important. We would always bring in goldfish and cutie oranges and just tons of stuff to be eating while you're in line so that you don't feel starving when you get to those restaurants and you can share. Yeah. Which I feel like you started being more okay with when we were going to Disney and it was so expensive and it'd be like, let's just share.
I wanted to get my own thing, but I'm like, okay, I know we need to budget, so let's do this.
Here, have an orange.
Yeah. I'll have a wedge of orange or a slice of orange.
One more thing that I feel like that we've done that has helped with a budget is usually when we go, it's either right after Christmas or some birthday or something like that. So the girls will go with some sort of amount of money that they have gotten as a present. Now they save their own money, but like they'll have $20 or $40 or something, and that's all they get to spend. Yeah. So when
like not on food, but like on a toy or a souvenir, something to remember the trip by.
Yeah. So all day, you know, they're looking at merch and they're like, oh, that's neat. I'm like, do you want to spend your money on that? No, it's not that great. And so they make really good decisions about what they will actually pick instead of telling us all day, like, I want this, I want that. It's like, this is your money. This is how much you get to spend. And then they have their special souvenir.
So let's fast forward to our current day where we have 2 full-time incomes and we can budget better for travel.
Yeah. And I said earlier that we figured out our budget with Dave Ramsey, and that was really helpful for us. It's kind of funny though, because Dave Ramsey's basically anti-credit card and we did not use credit cards at all back when we, did not have any extra money. Now, part of our tips is how to utilize credit cards, although you have to always pay them off on time. Yep. Because it completely loses the point if you have to pay interest. So we never pay interest on the credit card. Keep that in mind as we talk about how we utilize credit cards.
Yeah. So we typically still operate from the same budget mentality as we did when we just had one income. But we still prioritize travel and we have a line item in our budget for travel and vacations. Yeah. And so we typically have like a rolling Disney Cruise Line budget where each month we put away money for Disney Cruise in the future. All that said, a lot of the same principles still apply. Like we don't buy super expensive clothes.
All my clothes here are from Target.
Yeah.
And it's like Target and Costco. That's basically where we shop.
And Old Navy jeans. So we don't prioritize spending money on things like clothes or hair because this hair doesn't come easy, but it's not expensive.
Yeah. I still dye my own hair. I have a lady who's been cutting my hair for years, but she works in one of those shops that's not all that expensive. Yep. We just don't buy a lot of things that cost a lot of money. Yeah. Our splurging goes towards vacations.
Yeah. Yeah. That's our love language.
That's our love language, I guess. But it's also,
we just added a 6th love language.
Yeah. I feel like if people see our vacations, they're like, oh my goodness, like, wow, you spend money on this vacation and that vacation. It's like, yeah, but we don't have a ton of stuff. Like we don't have expensive cars. We have a lot of things that we don't get so that we can do that.
Yep. Yeah. Our biggest tip for budgeting and spending for travel and vacation, as Carrie said earlier, has to do with credit cards. And for us, I did a lot of research. Check out the Points Guy. I think it's thepointsguy.com. Top credit cards for this use or that use, for rewards, for travel. The 2 credit cards that we've really landed on, well, 3, but the 2 main credit cards we use for travel points are both Chase cards. And the first one is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. And that one earns you like 1.5 points per dollar you spend. But we use that on pretty much everything that we spend money on. As Carrie said earlier, we pay it off every month.
It's still in our budget.
And the thing is, we buy things that are budgeted with it. And then we pay it off with the budget money. So that's the important piece of it. If you don't do that, credit cards can ruin you. So don't do that. Pay it off each month. And we also have another Chase credit card, which is the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. And that's a travel card with kind of a high annual fee.
Very high.
And the other comparable card to that one is the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, which is lower monthly fee. That also has some great travel benefits, but we went with the Sapphire Reserve because of all the benefits you get out of it.
Yeah. I remember when Chris was telling me what the annual fee was, I was like, no way, we don't need to pay for a credit card like that. But we were just about to pay for travel insurance on our Disney cruise, and we realized the travel insurance was built into that credit card.
Yeah, it's really good travel insurance too.
So as long as we paid for some of that Disney cruise with that credit card, we would be covered with the travel insurance. Mm-hmm. So we were basically, instead of just throwing money into travel insurance that we'll probably never see, we put it into that annual fee.
Yeah. The great thing about using those two cards is you combine points from both cards on one travel portal or rewards portal called Chase Ultimate Rewards Portal. You can combine points from both cards, put them on one card, and then you could redeem those points for travel. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot that we've been able to do with those points.
Yeah.
And before I get to that, a few other quick benefits to those cards is you get $300 of travel credit each year. So the first $300 of travel expenses you have, it goes to pay off your balance.
That almost pays for the annual fee there.
It pays for more than half, maybe like 2/3 almost of the entire annual fee.
Yeah.
On top of that, there is a airport lounge access called Priority Select, Priority Plus maybe, where it gives you access to different travel lounges if you want to get away from the crowds in the airports. You get that for free included with it. There's a lot of built-in benefits on top of just the travel stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but the points, I mean, we've used them for tons of hotels. You've seen lots of them in our vlogs.
Yep. I'll give you a couple quick examples.
Okay.
So the Spring Hill Suites that we stayed in the night before our first Disney cruise last October, where we had a corner room that was like higher up and looking right down on the port, we got that with points.
That was an amazing room.
It was an amazing room, and it wasn't cheap if we paid for it, but we got it with points. So it was
free.
And we also have booked, I think we rented a Jeep for like an 8 or 9 day trip in Maui when you and I went back in 2018 or 19. Mm-hmm. We have a hotel booked for this coming summer. When we go on our Disney cruise on the Fantasy in June, we're staying at the Hard Rock Hotel right on Universal Studios property. And we're going to go to Universal Studios in Orlando before the cruise. And I think we're staying there for 4 nights.
Yeah.
And the great thing is getting that hotel on our Chase Ultimate Rewards travel portal came with the benefit that comes with that hotel, which is like included unlimited express pass.
Yeah.
Which is a huge benefit, and we didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah. I remember we were wanting to stay there because we knew that we would get that free front of the line pass kind of thing. Yeah. And Chris was telling me how much it was going to cost. And I was like, there's no way. We cannot stay there. That is way too expensive. And then like a couple days later, he's like, oh my gosh, we can use the points. I mean, not yet. We don't have enough points yet, but like in 2 months, we'll have enough points.
Yeah. It ended up being like 3 or 4, but
yeah. So we saved up our points and we used them to like that whole hotel is covered, which is amazing.
Yeah. It's so cool.
We've earned a lot of points and we've been able to use them so well thanks to Chris's great research, because I wouldn't do stuff like that. But
and we do it without having that weight of debt. Yeah. Because we pay it off each month.
Yeah, like right now, we're talking about when the girls are at summer camp, going on a little trip, the 2 of us to Tahoe. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to find a good place to go. And it's like, the hotel's basically going to be covered. And so all we have to spend our money on is food. Yeah. Which is like, that's a great way to go on vacation. Another card that we have that we don't use as much, we only really use it when we go on Disney vacations, is our Disney Visa card. Yeah. And 2 benefits that we use that for. When you book a Disney vacation, whether it's a Disney cruise or maybe you book a Disney vacation through Disneyland's website, you can use your Disney card to pay for that vacation, deposit. One of Disney Visa's benefits is you can take your deposit and spread that out over 6 months interest free. Yeah. And so for a Disney cruise especially, that's really helpful. That's been really helpful. We do split that deposit up over 6 months, and then we pay for the rest of the cruise with the Sapphire card so that we earn the points, right? Yeah, each month we budget money for the Disney cruise, like I said earlier. And we pay that one with the Sapphire card so that we can have travel insurance on the remainder of our Disney cruise, like what we have to pay it off for. I just think, I don't know what Dave Ramsey would think, because we have actually a lot of credit cards. We have the Chase cards. We have an Alaska Airlines card because we get our companion fare. Yeah. We used to have a Southwest one. But we didn't have any of those until we figured out how to stick to our budget, how to be really careful, how not to go over budget.
And I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice that we've ever gotten that we can give others is learn how to budget without a credit card.
Yes.
Cash budget before you even try to get a credit card.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
I mean, there really are different stages of life. If we think of when we were younger and our kids were really little and we had so much less in our budget, we just learned to live that way. And actually, I feel like we learned to be satisfied and content with not having very much stuff because we just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're still content with, nothing really fancy, except for our vacations. That we have our fancy hotels that we get for free.
Yeah.
So, I mean, learning how to be content, learning how to budget, and then when you're ready, getting a credit card, starting slow with the credit cards and using them wisely.
I think no matter what your budget is, whether you're single income, dual income, whatever it is, travel is doable. And I think that's really what we've learned in our lives.
Yeah. And I mean, if travel is a priority and you have a certain amount you want to spend on a vacation or travel, you might need to find other things that you should cut out. Just find ways to make it work. There are ways to make it work. I mean, maybe at first it's just going camping. We did a lot of that too.
We did a lot of camping when we first started.
Yeah, and we loved that. So we would love to hear also, what are your tips? What are some ways that you budget for travel? What are some ways that you make it happen so that you can do the things that you love with your family?
Yeah, or if you have any questions about budgeting or anything we've done or whatever, please feel free to ask that in the comments as well.
Well, thank you so much for watching.
We hope you have an amazing week. And like I said earlier, we have a lot of Disneyland content coming to you soon, including packing for Disneyland and some of the things we're looking forward to in Disneyland. And in 2 weeks from today, we're leaving.
Yeah. And we have one vlog that we're really excited about. We are going to let our girls go and have fun on their own for a while. And we're going to go have fun on our own for a while. And we're both going to vlog and we're kind of going to do some competition kinds of things. So like who went
on the most rides?
Yeah. Who had the tastiest treat
or who's waited in line the longest or shortest.
Yeah. So if you have any tips for that, either some ideas for us, we would love to hear those too.
And I think we're going to be asking a question either on one of our next videos or on Instagram. What are some of the things you want us to do or talk about while we're in the parks?
Yeah. Because we're going to be there for 5 days.
Yeah. And we'll be staying at the Disneyland Hotel, which is our first time ever staying there.
And we're probably going to upgrade, right? To a Magic Key Pass.
We're not sure yet. We'll see. I think we're going to try.
Yeah, because we're thinking about going back again in the fall.
Yeah.
So, all of that's doable because of all the budgeting things that we've been telling you about.
Yep. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything that we're going to be sharing, especially in our trip to Disneyland that's coming soon. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing week. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.